And so we're going to look at the management of them quickly. And this is just telling the different sections that we're going to look at: the production system, feeding, nutrition, breeding. Some of these we will run through because we're kind of discussing them as we're going along, right? And we spoke about that as well. We spoke about if you're going into production, what is the preference of the farmer, right? What access he has to resources. Remember I said if he wanted to rear sheep in the tropics, wool sheep, then it's up to him once he has the resources in terms of creating the environment and the stock. Land, and it's not just having land, but how much land do you have? Because sometimes we find that farmers expand beyond the capacity of their land. They were doing well, you know, and they were breeding and increasing their animals. And then all of a sudden you start seeing like the animals are deteriorating, things not going so right. And it's because they have maximized the potential of their land. They have too many animals, and so they may have to cull. We like to see many numbers with animals, but we have to pay attention to the resources that we have available in terms of the land and the quantity of feed to feed the animals. We had farmers here with cattle dying because of that. You know, and it's so sad because you have big animals like that, and I mean, you're saying that you can't see that you can't feed all of these animals, why you just never cull and sell some, and you know, right? And we see that in pig farming too, because I always tell the story of the story of the pig farmer who had the pigs for sale and he couldn't get any market, right? And the minister, the late agriculture minister, went there to try and say he was going to help him to sell the pigs, because if you're a minister, by gosh, you must be able to get a market, because if you say buy these animals, somebody must buy it, right? And when he went there, the state of the pigs, you would even want it for free. The things skinny down, they start eating each other because he doesn't have enough feed. Now, if you don't have enough feed to feed the animal, sell some and feed what you can to keep those looking healthy. We have persons writing in asking for assistance. They have chickens and they're doing this batch production. You have chickens almost near to slaughter that you cannot feed. You're asking for feed to assist you with those. And you have practically 2 weeks or a day old chickens, 2 weeks old chickens coming along. Then you never see that you can't even feed what you have there. Yes. And you went and took more. Yes. Didn't something click at any time? But let's not get into that. So management is very important, right? And we speak about capital in terms of the money that you have access to, and farmers have to remember that, you know, it's not so easy to get loans. And when you do take loans, the interest rates are very high, so pay attention to that. Don't put yourself in debt. Because the idea of starting your farm was to make money, not to make you poorer. Because some actually get worse than when they never had the farm. We're just speaking about in terms of the environment, or the type of system, and we spoke about intensive system. We know about the intensive system, semi-intensive, or if you're going to have them on pasture. One person just quickly tell the difference again between all three. Intensive system, what is it?
Completely confined. Zero grazing.
Completely confined, like she says, zero grazing of the animals. You have to bring everything to the animal. If you are not prepared to do that, do not put the animals in that kind of environment.
And it costly.
Exactly, but then you have to work that out for yourself, right? We have the semi-intensive, which is what?
Graze for a period of time in the day and then you
Exactly, and I think a lot of farmers in the Caribbean do the semi-intensive. Because even here at home, so you'll see that the animals will go out in the morning and in the evening you'll see them coming back in, right? And if you have a lot of pasture land, then you can have them out there like cattle grazing all day, right? But I think what has happened too is because of the stealing of animals, a lot of persons have opted not to do that. Even if they have the land and could have let them out there, they rather keep them a little closer home, right? Dogs as well and stuff. So like you're saying, when you're thinking about your production, these are little things that you have to think about, right? Oh, this is just basically saying nobody can tell you what is the ideal way. You know what is the hardest thing for us? Calculating the cost of production. Yeah. It is not as easy as anybody would think, because you can have it as high-tech as you want, as low-tech as you want. Some persons are doing, like you're saying, intensive, semi-intensive. Some people are growing their own feed. Some persons are cutting feed from other properties and all these different sort of variations. So sometimes it's a bit difficult in doing that. So nobody will tell you that this is the best way to make a lot of money. What they will tell you is how you can feed your animals and select the best animals, and then you can see where you can cut costs. Because it may be in the structure, maybe you don't want an elevated flooring, maybe you just want a simple flooring, right? So just once you understand how the animals behave and the breed and what you're looking for, then you can make the necessary adjustments, right?